Yes, sir. Welcome back. Eminent Sports Broadcasting. I'm your host, Classic. Uh, the pay per view just concluded not too long ago, and the post fight press conference just concluded not too long ago. It was a decent night of boxing. I must say, I'm thoroughly pleased. Some good fights, some good, some unique things that happened in this undercard. One shocker was the Carlos Castro fight. I was pretty big on Carlos Castro. I thought Luis Nery was looking a little suspect in his previous fights, and I thought he was going to get the job done. So I have to eat a little crow on that one. Nery looked very impressive. But we're going to dive into the entire undercard. I was unable to look at the Eubank fight. I know in my previous video, I said I would touch on it a little bit, but I'll do a video for it more than likely tomorrow. When I checked boxing scene, it said ESPN Plus would have that televised card, but that was not the case. I was unable to find it, so I'm gonna have to fish for it tomorrow somehow, some way. So yeah, Eubank did his thing. From what I've seen and the results, I'm gonna want to look into the fight a little bit more, so I could touch on it in more detail. And Clarissa Shields was successful, and I saw she had a little chatter, a little back and forth with Savannah Marshall in the post fight interview that she had. But let's start with this. Let's talk about this pay per view tonight. Well done telecast, flowed pretty well. The first fight of the night was Luis Nery versus Carlos Castro. Like I said, I thought Nery was looking a little suspect in his previous fights. He was getting hurt with body shots. He wasn't looking thoroughly impressive. He was struggling with some of his opponents. Man, did he come out here tonight with some supreme confidence. I gotta give you a clap, sir. Excellent movement, good showcase, display of boxing. I don't know what Carlos Castro was doing in this fight. He got dropped in the first round with a straight shot right to the chin, toppled down, and never was the same. Actually, he was the same. He was losing pretty much the whole fight. And the judges saw it a lot closer than I had it. I thought Luis Nery looked well. He boxed with his hands down. He came in when he wanted. He evaded shots. I've never seen that display of boxing from him before. And the interesting part about it is when he was trading with Eddie Reynoso, Eddie Reynoso was trying to get him to double down on defense. And he was a little reluctant in doing so. But in this fight, man, his defense was superb. Castro didn't know what he was looking at. He didn't know what to do. And he looked bewildered in this fight. He was throwing shots. Shots weren't landing. He wasn't hurting Nery at all. Luis Nery did what he wanted to do. I mean, I scored the fight 98-91 for Nery. I gave Castro 2 rounds, the 5th and the 10th round. The judges had it a split decision, which was a little mind-boggling, but that's a lot of judges, man. They don't like movement too much, depending on the fighter. Depending very much on the fighter. They like the come forward fighter more often than not. And I think they gave Castro a little too much credit in this fight. But either way, Nery did his thing. He was victorious. I like what I saw. He moved up in weight and he got the victory. And I'm now very, very interested in what he has to display for us moving forward. They're saying it was a title eliminator, so he might be the next fight for Stephen Fulton. Good fight. I'm tuning in. What's up with Roy Salim? Nobody wants to give him a shot. Seems like he's the boogeyman in that division. At one point, he was the WBA mandatory, and there was some snag or issue in making that fight with Akhmadaliev. The unified champion on the other side of the street, and they were unable to get that fight across the finish line. So it's interesting moving forward to see what's going to happen with Roy Salim. Luis Nery is now in the mix with Stephen Fulton. Let's see what happens. The second fight on the telecast was Jesus Ramos versus Vladimir Hernandez. Vladimir Hernandez came in there upset-minded, throwing a lot of combinations, was looking real fluid in that fight. I was looking a little nervous, like, damn, Jesus Ramos might lose this fight. But he buckled down and he started hitting Hernandez with some hard shots. That was not to be denied. They were not to be brushed off. These shots were taking effect. But I was not thoroughly impressed with Mr. Ramos. He looked a little slow in this fight. And I'm not sure if he's campaigning at 154 or if he's campaigning at 147. Because I think even in the when Sean Porter and forgot his name, it just escaped me for the moment. They had their top 10 fighters in the welterweight division. I think Sean Porter had Jesus Ramos on that list. And I'm pretty sure he's campaigning at 154, but I'm not. I have to double check on that. See what his other weight, what his other weights were in his previous fights. But he's gonna have to work on his speed. He's gonna have to work on his fluidity to compete with a lot of these top echelon fighters in these divisions, man. You got killers at 154, you got killers at 147. That slow hand speed is not going to get the job done. Yeah, you're a big boy, you got power, you're young, but these guys are coming in with experience and they move with angles, kind of like what Hernandez was doing. And I know he's a southpaw, and I know Hernandez is a southpaw as well. So I know that probably the angles that he was seeing those shots coming from was kind of throwing him off a little bit. But he was able to bite down and get the job done and get the knockout. Something Julian Williams was unable to do in his fight with Hernandez. So impressed? I'm not sure. I got to see a little bit more from Jesus Ramos, man, because he took a step back, in my opinion, because I thought he was going to wash dude pretty easily without issue, and that was not the case. So moving forward, the next fight on the telecast was Leo Santa Cruz versus Carbajal, Keenan Carbajal. And in this fight, I didn't know what to expect because I've never seen Keenan Carbajal fight before. So my antennas were not up on this fight. I was just happy to see Leo Santa Cruz back because I thoroughly enjoy his fighting, even though I wish he had more defense, but he's always entertaining every time he fights. I've been watching him since I've been watching Leo Santa Cruz for over a decade now. When he used to fight on Showtime, when he was coming up in the ranks. Same Leo Santa Cruz. Displayed the same type of fighting skills, same type of heart that he always did. He had a cut on his eye. He could have easily checked out. Once he had 4 rounds in the bag, he was winning every round. My scorecard, I had it 100-90 in a 10-round fight. Shut out. I couldn't give a round to Carbajal at all. Did he show grit? I don't know. He had a injury on his left hand, I think. Left bicep. He was complaining about his left bicep. So he was unable to get much accomplished in the fight. But not impressed at all with Carbajal. I don't really want to see him moving forward in a big fight. On an undercard, maybe on a televised, on a free TV fight. Let's see him. Let's see what he can bring back. Let's see what he can bring back to the table, but was not impressed at all. Leo Santa Cruz dominated him from start to finish with 2 cuts on his eye from headbutts. Leo Santa Cruz wanted to continue the entire night. And one thing we got to do one more time in this broadcast today is we got to give Gervonta Davis his props, man. Because Gervonta Davis stopped both of these fighters that were in the co-main and main event tonight in impressive fashion and entertaining fights. Being the smaller guy, shorter guy in all these fights. Sometimes we got to appreciate what we get. I know everybody wants to see Gervonta Davis fight Devin Haney. I would love to see that fight as well. But Devin Haney is a monster in that division, man. There's a reason why he struggles to make weight in that division. Everyone wants to make it seem like Devin Haney is like this crazy avoided fighter in this division. He's very, very skillful. I think he is the best 135 fighter in that division, hands down. I think he displays the most skills. I think he beats Lomachenko. I think he possibly beats Gervonta Davis on points, unless Gervonta catches him. He beats Teofimo Lopez, in my opinion. I think he also beats Ryan Garcia. I think a bunch of fighters beat Ryan Garcia because he's unproven. He wants to criticize other people's resume like he's knocking down walls. He ain't knocking down shit. But like I was saying, Devin Haney is a beast in that division. Will he be a beast at 140? We would have to see. You move up in weight and you're fighting bigger guys. You're a big guy. You're struggling to make the weight. Let's see if you're going to get those same type of roadblocks at 140. It's interesting. I'm curious. He's still young. He's still growing. So let's see what the future holds for Devin Haney. This ain't the Devin Haney show right now. It's a Keith Thurman show. So like I said with Leo Santa Cruz, it was a whitewash. Dominated every single round. Easy. Fluidity in his punches. Same wrist flicker. I don't think he's ever going to be able to get that aspect of his game out. I mean, he says it doesn't hinder him, and I've never seen anyone capitalize on that wrist flick yet. Maybe Carl Frampton did a couple times when they fought, but love Leo Santa Cruz, man. Can't wait to see you fight again. So now we get on to the main event. Keith one-time Thurman makes his return in the Mandalay Bay against Mario Barrios. Entertaining fight. I gave Mario Barrios 2 rounds. I gave him the first round, and I gave him the 11th round. The rest of the rounds was pretty much dominated by Keith Thurman. His ambush style, his in and out, his angles. Took him a while to get that fluidity back. Took him a while to get his groove back after that long layoff because I thought Barrios was timing him pretty well, especially in the first round when I seen Keith Thurman's head get rocked back a couple times. And he wasn't really hitting Barrios with much shots. But once he was able to get settled in, he was timing Barrios with some crazy hard shots. And the discrepancy with the gloves, and they both ended up fighting in 10-ounce gloves. If this was in with 8-ounce gloves, I think Keith Thurman would have stopped him because the level of damage in Barrios' face would have been more apparent. Shots would have hit him a lot harder. He would have taken a lot more damage. But Keith Thurman was successful, very impressive. Return back. I thought he was going to stop Barrios. Like I said, if he would have stepped on the gas and he would have pushed forward and he would have bullied him a little bit, I think those opportunities were there. And in the post press conference that he just did, which just recently concluded, he did say as much that he's been a little too friendly with his sparring partners and he needs to step on the gas a little bit more and pressure these fighters and try to get them out of there and be more mean. So I'm anticipating him to work on those things moving forward. Where does Mario Barrios go from here? Definitely not on the big stage. I think he's a little gun shy. But when you're fighting a fighter on Keith Thurman's caliber, you're gonna create those situations. You're gonna have those situations where you're a little gun shy. He's taken back-to-back losses. Knockout loss to Gervonta Davis. Dominant loss to Keith Thurman. 147. Abel Ramos took a loss tonight. The uncle of Jesus Ramos. Why not Barrios and Abel Ramos on a Fox card or FS1 card? Interesting. That'll be a good co-main or main event. You can easily sweep that in there. That'll be good. I'd watch that. So Mario Barrios has options, but he's not going to be able to sit at the big table. Not for a while. He's going to have to get some wins. I think he loses to Santa Maria. Santa Maria has upset some fighters on the PBC coming up, and he's had some near losses, which some of the fights I think he probably should have won. The fight that he had with the Philadelphia fighter, I can't remember his name. His name escapes me at this moment, and part of the reason why his name escapes me at this moment because I haven't seen him fight since he had that victory over Santa Maria. So that would be an interesting fight. So yes, we conclude this night of welterweight action. Keith Thurman emerges victorious. He now enters the title picture. A fight with him and Crawford, that seems like the most logical fight to be made, especially since the rumors have been swirling around that Errol Spence is going to fight Dennis Ugas in a 3-belt unification fight. Are we going to throw Keith Thurman in another fight very, very soon? I mean, he's a pay-per-view fighter. So are they going to be able to get another pay-per-view situation ready for him to where he's going to fight Terrence Crawford before the end of the year? Maybe. If he's on the undercard for, like, let's say a Deontay Wilder or something. Keith Thurman on a co-main event on a Deontay Wilder undercard would be interesting. So I can see that way. That'd be a way to squeeze that in to where you could probably squeeze the Crawford fight in. Because I don't think the Crawford Spence fight happens until earlier mid next year. And if you guys pay attention to the business aspects of what PBC in terms of their contracts coming up, That seems like the most logical sense. It seems like that's what they're aiming for. So, congratulations, Mr. Thurman. I'm uh, I'm impressed. I'm happy that you're back. I'm looking forward to your next fight. I mean, don't balloon up and wait. We don't want to see you looking chunky. I mean, we want to see you laser focused, man. Get back in the gym. Keep talking that shit like you always be talking, man. One of the most entertaining talkers in the game. You definitely have a career post boxing. I hope Al Heyman's paying attention to you because you could definitely do some things for the PBC in terms of what they're lacking. So, congrats. See you in the near future. I'm gonna try to tackle that Eubank fight. I'm trying to build up some UK subscribers and the following because I watch all the fights, man. So it makes sense that I'm gonna chop it up with you motherfuckers and you know what I mean, and get into little debates about this and that. I mean, because I watch it all, man. Eubank Jr. did his thing. I'm gonna try to find that feed so I could see that fight and we could chop it up tomorrow and discuss a little bit. And that'll be out there in the cloud for you guys to check it out whenever you get a chance to. Eminent Sports Broadcasting signing off. I'm your host, Classic. Salute. And I'll see you soon. Great night of boxing. Also, I might check out that DAZN card that happened tonight. If I do check it out, there's not gonna be any video for it until next week, man. And if there's gonna be a video, it'll be brief. Oh yeah, and I also had a challenge and a little experiment that I was doing with the cards. Every month I'm doing every month we're trying to have a victorious card for the month. So we watch the entire telecast portion of the fight and we examine and we give them a letter grade. We give that fight a letter grade. We give that card a letter grade. Apologize for that. And we see which card is the victor of that month. So we are now in the month of February. And what letter grade do we give that Keith Thurman card? So the last fight that I did was the Gary Russell fight, and I think at the end of that video I did forget to give that card a letter grade. So in the month of January, Luis Ortiz versus Charles Martin card, I gave it a B. The next fight that happened in that month was the Joe Smith Jr. fight, and I gave that a C minus. I'm gonna double check. Of course, I'm gonna jot it down so we could recollect moving forward. The Gary Russell fight versus Mark Mixio fight, which I did forget to uh, give you guys my letter grade for that fight. I'm gonna give it a C plus. I thought there was a lot of interesting situations that happened in that fight. Gary Russell, like I said, did very, very well fighting with one hand. The Subriel Matiz fight ended in devastating knockout. Thought the referee did the fight a little disservice. And the fight before with King Tug was interesting. So I'm going to give that one a B plus. No, sorry, C plus. So that was in the month of January. So obviously, with the Luis Ortiz and Charles Martin fight, that would be the victor of that month. There's another fight that I'm going to have to check out on the ESPN side that I missed because I was out of town last weekend. So I'm going to have to give that a letter grade. So I'm going to have to have a little bit more determination moving forward. So this fight, this Keith Thurman pay-per-view, letter grade. There was no world titles at stake. I thought the Leo Santa Cruz fight was clearly one-sided. The Keith Thurman fight was very entertaining. Mario Barrios took a lot of damage. Keith Thurman got hit a little bit, took a body shot. Yeah, I mean, Keith, you got to work on that body, man. You can't be taking body shots like that against Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Udonis Ugas, Boots Ennis, Virgil Ortiz. Man, ain't going to end well. Either that or work on the movement a little bit more to avoid those shots. I'm going to give this Keith Thurman card a C plus for the month of February. So we're going to move throughout the month of February. We're going to see what we got as the victor. And at the end of the year, we're going to have 12 victors for 12 months, 12 cards that reign supreme over all the cards for that month. We're going to have the best card of the year at the end of the year. So depending on what I see, when I get a little chance to check out that fight that I missed from last week, it seems like the Luis Ortiz versus Charles Martin was the best card of the year so far. Top to bottom, that card was thoroughly entertaining. Knockouts, heavyweight action. Cry me a river. Cry me a river about, oh, this fight is pay-per-view and this fight is not. Come on, man. You guys ain't making money, man? Spend your money on something you love. Now, I'm not advocating for every fight to be pay-per-view. Come on, now. I'm not a fool. But Classic signing off. All right, y'all boys. Peace. Have a good night. We'll rock out in the future.